Well, crappy masking skills aside, it is taped off. All the pertinent areas are protected, and all of the areas that need to be primed are exposed. So it will work. It is not pretty by any stretch, but it'll do the job. And I am going to be leaving this masking tape on there and only patching it as necessary throughout the entire block sanding process. So hopefully I won't have any problems. Of course, I'll probably remask it once I get ready to shoot color, but we'll cross that bridge when the time comes. I'm going to move the 32 out, move my stands over into that section of the shop, clean up the area, cover up the things that don't need primer overspray on them, and we're going to prime this thing in the next day or so.
The next day.
Alright, it's time to prime. In this priming job I'm going to be using the Advantage 325 2-to-1 Vogue, which is what I normally use. I like this primer a lot. It's real easy to sand. It goes on nicely and it's multi-usable depending on how you mix it. You can use it as an ultra high build primer, a standard high build primer, or as a sealer depending on the ratio that you use. I'm going to be using a 4-to-1 ratio, which means 4 parts of the primer, 4 parts of the activator, and 4 parts reducer. That's how we're going to do this. We're going to have to mix this up. It's going to take some time to mix it up, so I'm not going to waste my time showing you that. You don't want to sit here and watch me stir for 30 minutes, so we'll get started. After that, I'm going to go back using my my prep all. I'm going to wipe down the components, clean them up, make sure they're ready to go, and we'll get to priming. sure you noticed I had some issues with my primer gun that led to a little bit of dry spray and some intermittent spraying. Took the thing apart and found a clog from the previous use. Now the previous use one I think was a couple of years ago. Apparently either I didn't clean it well enough or something got in there in the interim. I don't know, probably I didn't clean it well enough, but once I got it cleaned out, it sprayed out nice. I do have some dry areas, dry spray areas, but that's not a problem because all this is going to be sanded anyway. And the cool thing is, just as I expected, this coat of primer pointed out things I need to work on with the putty. Let's take a look. The car itself is not bad. I have learned that when I get ready to do the next primer and everything, I'm going to take the wheels off of it and tape off from the inside. I think that'll just make it easier and get everything done. But the actual car itself looks pretty good. This is an area of dry spray right here. This is going to be sanded anyway, so I'm not concerned about that. But overall, it looks pretty good. I do have some issues. Spotted a place up here, this right here. Don't know if you could see that. That's a place that needs to have a touch up with some putty, which I will do. Got some other places like that around. Of course, when I get ready to block sand this, I'm going to find all sorts of places like that I can address. That's part of the process of dealing, especially with fiberglass, because fiberglass is so unpredictable. You know, I've got some areas right here, but overall, it looks pretty good. It's a good start. On the doors, hood, and trunk, what I've got are issues like this right here. And this is stuff that I did not see when it was black. But all the way around that, got a run right there again, not a problem. Pinholes like this. This is exactly the way the 32 was when I painted it. I started finding pinholes when I started spraying primer, not a big deal. You can see here, this looks a lot better. Got a little bit of an area right there that needs to be addressed. Right there needs to be addressed. Again, all of this is spreading putty and working it. So this is part of the process. Right here is an issue as well. Over here to the hood, again, see these areas on the edge? That all needs to be addressed, and that will be addressed with putty. They're not deep, they're just there. These places right here, this is a little bit of a separation of the laminate. Again, not a problem. I can address that. Right here as well. Now the inside of the doors, I can be a little bit less careful with it because this area right here, this area right here, and these areas right around here are not even going to show because of weather stripping, the door hinge, and the door latches, and the carpeting that goes in that center with the mat pocket. But again, right here, got an issue right there I've got to fix. All those doors and everything are all like that all the way around. You can see here, that, all of that needs to be addressed, and of course it will be. But the surface of it looks really good, actually. That area that I had that was wavy right here looks really good, no problem. And of course, once I start going over this with block sanding, I'm going to find all sorts of issues that I will want to address. But overall, it's a good start. Again, I did have some issues with primer. I am going to yank all of this back off and do the sanding and everything, and I think I'm going to leave the deck lid and the hood area and the dashboard taped off, but the area around the bottom of the car and everything, I'm going to let that go because I am going to pull the wheels from now on when I start spraying primer or paint on this. I think that's just going to be better off for everybody, including myself and the car itself as well. This is a learning process for me all over again. It's been a couple of years since I painted that coupe. That was the first car I ever painted. It turned out good. I have faith in myself. It's going to look good. We're going with the gloss color on this as opposed to the matte, which means the cut and buff is going to save me some effort as well. But next, we're going to let this cure. And in the next couple of days, I'm going to get in here and start going over it with the block sanding, spreading some putty, filling some pinholes, filling some imperfections, and really fine tuning this. Then I'll come back and spray some more primer and really go to town with the block sanding. If you like this kind of content, be sure and hit like and subscribe. And I appreciate you joining me. We'll catch you next time on the next video.